What's the connection between customer loyalty and pain? I travel a lot for work, and I've been a loyal Delta SkyMiles flyer for years. I've held Diamond status, that's their top tier, or at least it used to be their top tier, for 8 of the last 10 years. And Delta employees, gate agents, flight attendants, they're always recognizing me for my status. Clearly, whatever screen they're looking at identifies me as an elite flyer, and they've been trained to acknowledge it. And while I appreciate that, I'm not sure it really moves the needle. What would move the needle is when they recognize when I'm in pain. Let me give you an example. Last year, I was in Poland for a business meeting. The meeting wrapped up Thursday afternoon, and my flight out was early Friday morning. I had a long travel day ahead of me. First, a 2-hour flight from Gdansk to Amsterdam, then a 3-hour layover, following which I had a 9-hour flight from Amsterdam to Minneapolis. So by the time I landed in Minneapolis, I'd already been on 2 flights, spent about 11 hours in the air, and it had been roughly 16 hours since I left my hotel. I was tired, and I still had another flight, 3 more hours, to get to my home in Salt Lake City. Naturally, I headed to the Delta Sky Club to find a comfortable place to sit before my next flight. I walked up to the desk, handed over my boarding pass, and the agent asked for my American Express card. Turns out it had just expired, but I was surprised she even asked because with an international itinerary and with Diamond status, I was usually allowed right into the club. But she informed me, not rudely, but very sternly, that Delta had recently changed its policy. A Platinum American Express card was now required for lounge access, regardless of my status. I didn't argue. She moved on to help the next person, and I found a little restaurant and ordered some food and waited for my flight. But it got me thinking, did Delta miss a huge opportunity here? In recent years, Delta, along with United and American Airlines, and many other brands have devalued their reward programs and taken away benefits unless you pay for their premium credit card. And that's their choice, right or wrong. But what's really missing here is the opportunity to recognize and help a customer when they're experiencing pain. Now, let's be real. It wasn't physical pain, no, but after 16 hours of travel, anyone feels a little bit weary and tired. And here's the thing, Delta has the technology to know that. Their system shows where I came from, where I'm going, and how long I've been traveling, and even my airline status. I don't know exactly what employees see on their screens, but imagine if they had something like a customer pain score, a simple rating between 0 and 99 based on each passenger's itinerary. In a typical case, if you show up to a desk and you've just completed a short 90-minute flight, your pain score might only be 21 or 22. But if you've been traveling over 10 hours on multiple flights, or your trip has been severely delayed, maybe your pain score is in the 80s or 90s. With just a quick glance, any customer-facing employee could immediately recognize who's had a rough day and look for small ways to help, or at the very least, acknowledge the situation. Imagine in my case, the agent scans my boarding pass and says, "Mr. Ball, I see you've been traveling internationally and it's been a long day for you. Our policy has recently changed and you do need a Platinum card to enter, but considering your Diamond status and your long itinerary, please come in, grab a seat and relax before your next flight." That would have made me feel pretty good. Or perhaps there's another scenario that as I land in Minneapolis, I get a notification on my phone and I open it up and it reads, "Mr. Ball, we know you've had a long day. Here's a special upgrade to first class for your final leg home. Thank you for being such a loyal flyer." Imagine getting a complimentary upgrade, not just randomly, but when you really need it. And the thing is, for Delta or any airline to make that happen, it might only require some tweaks to their upgrade algorithm and a little bit of training. But here's the real takeaway. This isn't just about Delta. They're a good enough airline and they do a lot of things really well. But nearly every business, every corporation, in travel, retail, banking, healthcare, and more, could benefit from some kind of customer pain score. Because loyalty isn't built by just having a great point program or randomly recognizing status. Loyalty is built when someone notices your struggle, your fatigue, your frustration, and they do something small but meaningful to ease your pain. Companies that can figure this out stand to gain a lot. Customers want to be cared for, they want to be helped and rewarded in their time of need. Who knows? Maybe they'll even go online and tell the story, not as an example of an opportunity missed, but as an example of a brand that truly understands loyalty. So what's the connection between customer loyalty and pain? Recognition and points are nice perks that create some loyalty. But empathy, when your customer is hurting, turns loyalty into devotion. If you want to build true loyalty with your customers, don't just reward them when it's easy. Recognize and reward them when it matters most, when they're tired, frustrated, and struggling. Because when you relieve their pain, even in a small way, you create a bond that no points program or thank you message can ever replicate. Thank you for watching.